Okay. So I'm going to start with opening the space. You can have your eyes closed. Intention is supreme. That's all this really matters. So let's begin. I'd like to honor, acknowledge, and pay respects to Mother Earth, on which I sit and do this beautiful reading. Mother who holds me and all of us. I give thanks. I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay respects to Father Sky, Grandfather Sun, Grandmother Moon, all elements. And you can hear that. That's my cockatoo who has responded. So I give thanks to the spirit of the white cockatoo whose wings I hold here. I'd like to honor, acknowledge, and pay respects to all elements: earth, wind, water, fire, ether. The upper world, lower world, and middle world. All kings and kingdoms, all beings, all parts of the system. The crystal kingdom, the mineral kingdom, kingdom of water, kingdom of air, kingdom of land, all tribes, all shamans, all keepers of the sacred land, keepers of the mountains, keepers of sacred wisdom, grandfathers, the elders, the grandmothers, all ancestors across all timelines, across space and time. I wish to honor you, acknowledge you, and pay my respects to you, and invite you to come and be part of this beautiful reading and bless us as we listen to this text. I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay my respects to anyone, any part of the system that I may have forgotten. I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay respects to the sacred fire that bears witness to the words that will be spoken in truth. I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay respects to all worlds, all beings, conscious and unconscious, seen and unseen. All those who wish to be present here are welcome. I wish to honor you, acknowledge you, and pay my respects to you. I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay respects to my parents, my family, my circle of life, your circle of life, your systems, your families, all those you are connected to. I honor you, I acknowledge you, and I pay my respects to you. All kings and kingdoms are welcome. The animal kingdom, welcome. Crystal kingdom, all kings and kingdoms are welcome. And I wish to invite any force, light or dark, that wishes to be present for this reading. You are welcome. But understand that protections of Shiva are in place. And this will be the form of Holy Assembly. Finally, I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay my respects to the Intergalactic Council and Federation of Light, the Ascended Masters, my Guru, Srishti Chand Knoll, the great divine mother Lalita Mahatripura Sundari, Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, whose story we will read, and Lord Shiva, the destroyer, and their energies and feminine aspects, Ma Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, prosperity, and Parvati, the goddess of love, devotion. Of course, protections of Kali are in place, and anyone else I have forgotten. I wish to honor, acknowledge, and pay my respects to space and time itself, and Maya, the great illusion. All players in this beautiful game and dance of life. You are welcome, you are honored. You are honored. Thank you. Okay, we're getting there. So, I'm going to read little bits from Swami Chidananda's book. And this was signed on the 10th of July 1968 on Guru Purnima. So we will go through these little bits and then start with the introduction in the song, of course. Okay. The modern man in this present decade is greatly in need of an effective guide to light. He is groping. He sees only problems everywhere and no solutions are to be found anywhere. He does not know which way to turn, what course to adopt, and how to move towards a better state of things. Therefore, his life is filled with restlessness, unhappiness, and complication. The Bhagavad Gita contains words of wisdom and practical teachings that contain answers to the above mentioned condition of the present day individual. It is a message addressed to each and every human individual to help him or her to solve the vexing problem of overcoming the present and progressing towards a bright future. This holy scripture is not just an old scripture, nor is it just a book of religious teachings, nor even a Hindu holy book. It transcends the bounds of any particular religion or race and is actually divine wisdom addressed to mankind for all times in order to help human beings face and solve the ever-present problems of birth and death, of pain, of suffering, fear, bondage, love and hate. It enables man to liberate himself from all limiting factors and reach a state of perfect balance, inner stability, and mental peace. Complete and utter freedom from grief, anxiety, and fear. Within its 18 chapters is revealed a human drama. This is the experience of everyone in the world. The drama of the ascent of man from a state of utter dejection, sorrow, and total breakdown and hopelessness to a state of perfect understanding, clarity, renewed strength, and triumph. Each discourse, each part, each segment holds for you an invaluable new lesson and imparts a new understanding of yourself in a beautiful and marvelous way. The mystery of man, this world, and God is explained as perhaps nowhere else. The workings of your mind, the real problem to your welfare and happiness, how to overcome it, what the path to blessedness is, as also the path to perdition, the secret of self-mastery, and the way to peace amidst your daily activities and duties. So, it is about harmony. It is about wisdom. It is about learning how to navigate the choppy waters of this life with grace, with love, with a higher vibration where we can find our center no matter what is happening in the world outside us. And we can be present for life in the now. Now, let's talk about a few things, benefits mostly. It says, if all the Upanishads should represent cows, Sri Krishna is their milker. Arjuna is the calf who first tasted that milk of wisdom of the self, milked by the divine cowherd for the benefit of all humanity. This milk is the Bhagavad Gita. It solves not only Arjuna's problems and doubts, but also the world's problems and those of every living individual. Glory to Krishna, the friend of the cowherds of Gokul and the joy of Devaki. He who drinks the nectar of the Gita through purification of the heart and regular meditation attains immortality, eternal bliss, everlasting peace, and perennial joy. There is nothing more to be attained beyond this. Just as the dark, unfathomed depths of the ocean contain most precious of pearls, so also the Bhagavad Gita contains spiritual gems of incalculable value. You will have to dive deep into its depths with a very, very sincere attitude of reverence and faith. Only then will you be able to collect its spiritual pearls and comprehend its infinitely profound and subtle teaching. I continue. The Bhagavad Gita is a unique book for all ages. It is the immortal song of the soul, which bespeaks of the glory of life. The instructions given by Sri Krishna are actually for the whole world. It is a standard book on yoga for all mankind. Now, yoga in this context is not yoga, the exercise, but more dealing. This word came up before, and so it has a different meaning, more to do with union, alignment. The language is as simple as can be. The teachings of the Gita are broad, universal, and sublime. They do not belong to any cult, sect, creed, age, or country. So they cut across all divides. They are meant for the people of the whole wide world. Based on soul elevating Upanishads, the ancient wisdom of seers and saints, the Bhagavad Gita prescribes methods which are within reach of all. It has a message of solace, of freedom, of salvation, perfection, and ultimately peace for all human beings. The study of Gita alone is sufficient for daily scriptural study for those who choose to do it. It is here that you will find a solution for all your doubts. The more you study it with devotion and faith, the more you will acquire deeper knowledge, penetrative insight, and clear, right thinking. The Bhagavad Gita is a gospel for the whole world. It is meant for the generality of mankind. It was given over 5,000 years ago by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. So, the world is one huge battlefield. This particular epic takes place on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the north of the country, but it is symbolic in its essence. The real Kurukshetra is right within you. The battle of Mahabharata is still raging within. Ignorance is Dhritarashtra. The individual soul is Arjuna. The indweller of your heart is Lord Krishna. The charioteer, the body is the chariot. The senses are the 5 horses. Mind, egoism, mental impressions, senses, cravings, likes and dislikes, lust, jealousy, greed, pride, and hypocrisy are your dire enemies. Lord Krishna speaks from different levels of consciousness. In the Gita, the word avyaktam sometimes refers to the primordial nature and sometimes to the absolute Parabrahman. Okay. I'm just going to talk a little bit about harmony in the Gita. And harmony is an important word. It is all about harmony in the system. It is all about balancing a masculine and feminine. It is about finding that place of harmony or balance from which we create, not the other way around. So I will talk a little bit more about harmony and why it's important and how the Gita fits in. Man is a composite of three fundamental factors, namely will, feeling, and cognition. There are three kinds of temperament: the active, the emotional, and the rational. Even so, there are three yogas: Jnana Yoga for a person of inquiry and rational temperament, Bhakti Yoga for the person of emotional temperament, and Karma Yoga for the person of action. One yoga is as efficient as any other. There's no comparison. Like I said, all roads lead to the same destination. We all are unique and different, and so we will find what works for us. The Bhagavad Gita formulates the theories of the three paths without creating any conflict among them. It harmonizes most wonderfully the philosophy of action, devotion, and knowledge. All three must be harmoniously blended if you wish to attain perfection. You should have the head of Sri Shankara, the heart of Lord Buddha, and the hand of King Janaka. The three horses of this body, chariot, action, emotion, and intellect, should work in perfect harmony. Only then will it move smoothly and reach its destination safely and quickly. So it's all very symbolic, very deep, Only when we find a complete harmony within these three aspects, if you like, are we in a perfect point of creation. Only then can you rejoice in the self, sing the song of Soham, be in tune with the infinite, hear the soundless voice of the soul, and enjoy the sweet music of the eternal self, the light that you are. The central teaching of the Gita is the attainment of the final beatitude of life, perfection, or eternal freedom. This may be achieved by doing one's prescribed duties of life. Lord Krishna says to Arjuna in a certain part of the text, "Therefore, without attachment, constantly perform action, which is duty. For by performing action without attachment, man verily reaches the supreme." So in this age of Kali Yuga, Karma Yoga is very important. Right action. The Gita is divided into three sections, illustrative of the three terms of the Mahavakya of the Samaveda. Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. In accordance with this view, the first 6 discourses deal with the path of action, or Karma Yoga, that is the nature of thou. It is called the Tvampada. The next 6 discourses explain the path of devotion, the nature of that. This is called Tatpada. The concluding 6 discourses treat of the path of knowledge, the nature of the middle term art. Hence, it is called Asipada, which establishes the identity of the individual soul with the Supreme Soul. You can become a liberated soul by annihilating the ego and the currents of likes and dislikes, by annihilating desires and cravings and destroying their residual potencies. Thus, you can rest in your true essential nature as existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute, and still be active in the affairs of the world. Now, you will not be bound by your actions, since the idea of doership has been destroyed by the attainment of knowledge of the self. This is the keynote of the Gita. The goal of life is to directly cognize or realize this self-luminous self, which is hidden in this body as fire is hidden in wood or as butter in milk. This self is the inner ruler, the unseen governor, or the hidden proprietor of this house, this vehicle, this body that you so beautifully adorn. Real religion, in his view, is the attainment of this transcendental, supreme, undying, undecaying essence through constant and intense meditation. Real life is life in the eternal soul, and true life is the identification with this supreme soul, which exists in the past, present, and future, which has neither a beginning, middle, nor end, which has neither parts nor limbs, which is neither subtle nor gross. And finally, just a little bit on the essence of the Gita. The Gita again and again emphasizes that one should cultivate an attitude of non-attachment or detachment. It urges repeatedly that an individual should live in the world like water on a lotus leaf. He who does actions offering them to Brahman and abandoning attachment is not tainted by sin as a lotus leaf by water. Verse 10. Attachment is due to infatuation, the text says. It is the offspring of the quality of Rajas. Detachment is born of Sattva. The former is a demonical attribute, the latter a divine one. Attachment is born of ignorance, selfishness, and passion, and brings with it death. Detachment is wisdom and brings with it freedom. And don't we all just seek freedom and peace? The practice of detachment is a rigorous discipline. You may stumble like a baby who is just learning to walk, but you will have to rise up again and again with a cheerful heart. Failures are not stumbling blocks, but stepping stones to success. And finally, he who has no attachments can really love others, for his love is pure and divine. Therefore, without attachment do thou always perform action which should be done. For by performing action without attachment, man reaches the supreme. Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to stop here, and in the next video we will talk about the Gita and the Mahabharata, where they fit, give you a bit of the context, and then dive into the beautiful, beautiful epic story. I'll now close the space and send back all those who were present with love. Send back all those who were present for this reading with love, honor, and blessings, to go back safely to where they came from, to take the blessings with them, and to be the light that they are. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I send you back with love and blessings to your systems and your realities. Go in peace. धर्म की जय हो, अधर्म का नाश हो, प्राणियों में सद्भावना हो, विश्व का कल्याण हो. And what that means is, may truth prevail, may ignorance, darkness be destroyed, may all beings live in harmony, and may all reality be blessed. Jai Shri Ram. Om Namah Shivaya.